Chinese consumers prefer Google over Baidu, China's biggest domestic search engine, but homegrown smartphone maker Huawei over Apple, according to a survey released by independent research company Reputation Institute on Wednesday. But none of the world's most ubiquitous brands, be it Coca-Cola or Colgate, ranked among the top 10 names in the fast-moving consumer goods category, with Chinese products dominating shoppers' carts, according to another study. Google took fourth place in a ranking of 155 Chinese and multinational companies' reputations based on Chinese consumers' views, while Huawei, the world's largest telecommunications manufacturer, placed second overall. Baidu lagged far behind in 125th place, while Apple was ranked at No. 12. Baidu raises more than $1.9 billion for artificial intelligence-powered finance arm. We believe that companies here in China are held to higher standards than other companies in other parts of the world, said Nicholas George Trad, executive partner at Reputation Institute. Trad said even the best-rated companies scored less well in China compared with elsewhere. The reason for that would perhaps be that the regime here in China is very well reputed, so consumers expect companies to live up to the same types of standards that the government does. Chinese home appliances manufacturer Haier also featured in the top 10, which included companies such as Swiss luxury watchmaker Rolex, Finnish phone maker Nokia and German airline Lufthansa. The top-rated company was U.S. technology giant Intel. We believe that companies here in China are held to higher standards than other companies in other parts of the world. Nicholas George Trad, executive partner, Reputation Institute. The study polled 30,000 Chinese consumers on 280 domestic and international companies with the biggest revenues and visibility in the first quarter of 2018. Only 155 companies with the highest familiarity among survey participants were included in the final results. The respondents were asked to rate the companies based on trust, esteem, admiration, and good feeling, and the average formed a company's overall score. Nasdaq listed Baidu as Google's biggest competitor in China, and accounts for 82% of the country's online search market, as opposed to Google's 10%. But Baidu is compliant with Chinese state regulations on internet censorship that have kept Google from operating in the country. Huawei is in better shape to withstand U.S. pressure, thanks to industry's largest research budget. It was hit hard by an advertising scandal in 2016, when medical student Wei Zexi, who had pursued cancer treatments he had seen in promoted web searches on Baidu, died of his illness. Before his death, Wei had accused Baidu, among other parties, of misleading him. That sparked a major public and media backlash in China that negatively affected Baidu's reputation. That appears to have continued to this day, with Chinese consumers rating Google higher in terms of governance, fair business practices, ethical behavior and data privacy in the study. Google has a great reputation globally. In addition to that, we tend to like what we can't get. In terms of Baidu, people know there are certain restrictions to the product, said Trad. For Baidu, the whole data breach in the context of the Facebook controversy is building skepticism and lowering expectations of the company. China's higher multi-share issue to raise funds in Germany. According to the survey, more Chinese consumers also believed that Huawei stands out from the crowd and is more genuine than Apple, whose reputation in China was damaged by the Foxconn working conditions scandal in 2012. On the whole, the survey found that multinational companies were more reputable in the eyes of Chinese consumers than domestic firms. Participants under the age of 44 overwhelmingly supported foreign companies over Chinese firms. The survey did not measure the reputational fallout from a series of recent rows between foreign companies and the Chinese government over references to Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau and Tibet as separate countries. The U.S. hotel chain Marriott, U.S. airline Delta, global high street fashion retailer Zara and medical equipment maker Medtronic were forced to issue public apologies for offending China's territorial sovereignty as a result of these controversies. There's much more strength and national pride in the average consumer in China today than in the past. Over time, these considerations will have an effect on how people perceive brands, said Peter Prodromou, chief executive of marketing agency RaisePoint Global. Local brands do dominate the mainland's fast-moving consumer goods sector, according to a study by market research company Kantar Worldpanel. Coca-Cola may have been the most chosen consumer brand for a sixth straight year globally, picked from shelves 5.8 billion times in 2017. In mainland China, however, Yula topped the rankings and was picked up by consumers 1.2 billion times last year, up 6% from a year earlier. The dairy brand was followed by rival Mengniu, whose sales frequency remained flat at 1 billion times in the same period. Yila and Mengniu are the only mainland brands with sales figures in the billions. Other Chinese brands among the top 10 included Taiwan brands Masterkong, flavoring brand Haitian, rice cake and flavored drinks brand Want Want, processed meat brand Shuanggu, dairy brand Bright, instant noodle brand President, personal care brand Libai and drink brand Nongfu Spring. Global brands still lag behind their Chinese rivals, including Taiwanese brands, when it comes to reaching more consumers and growth and extending such coverage. Jason Yu, general manager for Greater China at Kantar Worldpanel, said on Thursday. Among the top 10 risers in mainland China, 9 were local brands, with Japanese probiotic drink brand Yakult the only exception.